Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Vanguard Tactics. I'm your host, Stephen Box, and if you are interested in Warhammer 40k, then you're in the right place. Every day at 6 o'clock, I go live and I answer your questions relating to Warhammer 40k. So we could be talking, competitive 40k, we could talk some hobby stuff, whatever it might be. Vanguard Tactics, all areas of the game. Now, we do take a slightly more competitive lens. We're not about winning at all cost. We are certainly about using tactics strategies to the best of our possible ability to become the best general on the tabletop. So welcome to the channel if you've not been here before. We've got loads of different content that you can stuck into. We've got podcasts, battle reports, advanced tactics, some tasty combo videos, and also obviously these daily lives. And today is day 40. I literally can't believe how long we've done this for. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna dive into the chat, see who we've got. Wayne, Razil, Brian. You had me worried 5 minutes late, I know, and that is because I had to get myself a little coffee, didn't I? I had to get myself a coffee, and I forgot to do the artwork for today, so I have to quickly do that so that we have a thumbnail. So anyway, but today I have been, doing a little bit of work today. Sort of took my foot off the gas in terms of how much work I've done. I thought I needed a bit of a break, so I edited one of the videos for the mentorship program that is literally just finished uploading probably 20 minutes ago. So that is going to be going live soon to the Academy. And that one was a bit of a beast, actually. I'll be honest, I think it's the best video I've ever done for the Academy. So very excited about pushing the button on the release on that. And then later on this afternoon, I'm going to see if I can get the podcast edited with myself in Rich Kilton. We've got a fantastic episode lined up with myself and Andy Wardle from Cult of Paint, and also Mark Reed. That's going to be this week's podcast, where we're going to talk about how we can improve as painters no matter what level of the game you're at. Now, right in front of me here is an army. You can't see it, but one of my favorite armies is right in front of me, and you can guess which one I've been working on today. So have a little guess, guys. What army have I been working on today? I'm not going to give any hints away, so you can have a little guess in the chat. What have I been working on? And we're going to discuss that in about 5 or so minutes. But I thought a nice little topic of conversation today would be the theory of or the thought process that you go through when you go to your first ever tournament. Now, we get a lot of people on the Academy, and we have a welcome page. As soon as they join, they hit the welcome page. And actually, me and Mark were talking about this earlier. We at the Academy get a lot of people that are coming back to the hobby. So actually, they're not currently playing 40k, which is brilliant. I really think that's fantastic that they're looking at the Academy as a really good investment to go, okay, I want to get good at this game, and this is an investment. I want to learn. I want to accelerate my knowledge as quickly as I possibly can. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. Originally when I set out Vanguard Tactics, it was all about people, trying to get that winning record, which, obviously the Academy course does do that. But actually, it's becoming a fantastic resource for those people that are just getting back straight into the hobby, okay? I get emails saying, oh, Steve, should I join, but I don't have an army, or I'm still working on my army. I'll join when I can get some games in. But really, you don't want to you want to get on learning as quickly as you possibly can, because imagine, you're on Games Workshop website, and you're thinking, oh, what unit shall I buy? And maybe you buy a unit, and, but you could be just buying stuff randomly, but not knowing how it all fits together, versus having understood the content from even module 1 on the Academy. You can look at that and go, okay, cool, I can kind of get what Steve's talking about here. So I'll tell you what, I'll order this, and I know that this is going to pair really well with it. And then that way, you just know that the units that you're using, the equipment that you're putting onto your models, you're not going to make those mistakes. Because I have been literally going through this army today, cutting arms off, cutting heads off, arm swap, head swaps, and I think it would have definitely helped me out. So anyway, we'll quickly dive into the chat. Army R McKee Reptiles, how you doing? Thank you very much for your email, by the way. It was extremely complimentary, so thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I will get back to you probably Monday on the emails. Sort of take the weekend off from emails, really. But that's all good. Rizal, hey Stephen, can you foresee any good use for impulsors for space for Blood Angels, or would they be better for Ultramarines or Dark Angels? Yeah, I do think that White Scars could really have like White Scars or the Black Templars could really do well out of impulsors, I think, because they rely a lot more on their infantry because they don't have the access to so much jump packs. So I think that could certainly be a good way forward with them. So yeah, White Scars I could definitely see impulsor spam with intercessors with. I think that could be quite good. Primali says, well, Rich says Orcs. Primali says Space Clowns. Jack says Sisters. Apparently, I'm still working on my Sisters from Stephen. Chris all Space Clowns. Wayne has said, hey, boss, a bit of audio visual desync. Got any uploading? No, I think all my uploading is done. So I will close down what I can, though, in case that can help. Let me just save that, and I'll close down that page. That may speed things up as well. But yeah, I'll see what I can do. The thing is, because this runs off a very large camera, that can sometimes slow it down. Yeah, I'll just quit everything that is running, and then that way you might have a little bit of a better experience. So there we go. Hopefully, it might take a couple of minutes for that to sync back in, but there we go. Right, okay, so John, how you doing? Jasper has said, I do want to ask, how do you really good players like Sean Naden use the Incarn in their list? I would like to try and master a hard unit to play. Well, the Incarn was a unit that actually me and Sean have spoke a lot about together. And the Incarn is something that I suppose I took the Incarn to the what was ETC and now is called the WTC. I took that last year. I actually took it the year before in 2018. I took the Incarn to the ETC. And for me, it's really been a fantastic unit to use. Now, the only reason why I didn't take it to the LVO is because of a rules interaction that I didn't believe was going to be in play. And then I found out it was. So, yeah, the Incarn got a slight nerf, which made him slightly unplayable for a while. But the ETC, they allowed it. Now, what happens is there is a rules interaction with the Incarn, which means that when you, and I absolutely love the Incarn, by the way. It's literally like, it's a very, very high skill level unit to use. There's not many units that can really take and shut him down. But I'm going to explain how it works. When when any unit dies, the Incarn can pop up in its place, okay? Now, when that happens, it can basically be deployed anywhere where that last model was removed from, okay? That's really important. Now, when that model is then removed, it can appear, and as long as like part of your base is touching its base, you're in its position, right? Now, the base is also absolutely massive on the Incarn, okay? It can fly. Now, it does specify that when you come in from reserve, you cannot move for any reason unless you are charging, piling in, or consolidating. They're the only 3 times that you can actually move. Now, for a while, most events that ran ITC format did not. And there was one in particular, there was one event in particular I wanted to take him to, and I messaged ahead of time and they said, no, you can't do it. You cannot heroically intervene. However, at the ETC, they allowed the heroic intervention as they perceived it to be missed off from that. And when I actually got to the LVO and I played someone playing the Incarn, I was like, oh, you're playing the Incarn. That was really cool. Love the Incarn. And he said, yeah, I can heroically intervene when I appear from when he basically pops back up. And I was like, oh, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, and I was like, wow, I regretted not taking the Incarn. But how it works is, and Brian will be testament to this. So I've played Brian many, many times with the Incarn. Now, what this allows you to do is you can sacrifice units when you need to, but a lot of people have tried to use the Incarn with things like Venom. So they throw a Venom away, the Venom dies, and then the Incarn will pop up and then heroically intervene, okay? The problem with that is that your character is now left completely, utterly surrounded by the enemy. So you need lots of other counter combat units to basically bail the Incarn out. And if you get that right, then the Incarn is impossible to touch. So I'll give you an example. I was playing against Brian and his knights. The Incarn can go in, fight, and then what he can do is lay out all of his attacks. And if he hasn't killed the knight, then I can use another unit somewhere else to destroy a unit and move my Incarn away even before the knight gets the fight back. So it forces your opponent to have to spend 2 CPs to heroically to interrupt combat to fight a unit that's already fought. And that is very, very powerful. I had it once where I was playing against this guy at the ETC and he played Tau and my Incarn was left isolated. I made a move and it was probably a bit of a mistake actually, but turned out it won me the game because he surrounded the Incarn with all these Riptides and essentially these 2 big L's blocked everything. So these Riptides jumped in this middle of these 2 big L's and made the Incarn the closest model. And then what happened? He flew a what's it called? Oh, I can't remember the name. A Star Commander thing. A Tau Commander. It's really, really quick. I've completely forgotten the name, but moves this commander right next to my Warlock. And he's like, yeah, I'm sick of this Warlock casting Jinx. I'm going to kill it. I was like, okay. Kills the Warlock. And then forgets that I was like, so you killed the Warlock. And I was like, and actually, I remember that I made enough saves that he was alive. So I picked up a dice and I said, okay, I'll spend a CP here. He was like, what? Spend a CP to re-roll the successful armor save, went into a failed armor save because it's on a 4-up, so it's a 50-50. Went to, I saw the 1 or 2, whatever it was, and he was like, why have you done that? I picked up the Warlock and then it dawned on him because now I can pick up my Incarn, put him down next to a troop unit within 3 of this commander that came over to kill my Warlock, and his 2 Riptides had nothing to shoot at. And he was like, oh no. And I was like, yeah. And then what happened was I heroically intervened into this commander with my Incarn, killed the commander, hopped over the ruin, charged into 2 commanders, killed them both, and then because this was at the time when Soul Burst was a thing, so killed the commander, piled into a Riptide, killed that as well. And it was incredible. It was just this, I was like, oh, I've made a mistake. And then the Incarn just got me out of it. But it's knowing how to use that properly, and it is devastating. And I can remember speaking to Sean, actually, and I saw his Eldar list, and I was like, Sean, where's the Incarn? He was like, I know, I didn't take him. And I had him, and he was absolutely jealous that I took him to the 2019 one. So, yeah, it's an incredible unit. It really is. And Sean is a fantastic, skillful player, which is why he's able to do so well with it. And we had this discussion, like, when you are using it, people like think you're playing another type of 40k that they don't know. And that when you start to pull off moves like that, and people are sat there like, I'm not even sure what's happening here, you know that you're having a good game. Yeah. So anyway, that's my little in-card story. But for those who are interested, what is sat in front of me right now is, where should I show you? Here we go. My Space Clowns. No, I can't. No, I need something to block me out. Let's try this. There we go. My Space Clowns. And that's my color scheme. Got like a sort of pink and orange for the shoulder pads with black and some blues. So yeah. And I really like how I did the base on these guys, actually. It's pretty simple, but works really, really well with that color scheme. So yeah, I found out that I have 50. I found 50 Harlequins. So I just need to buy now another. For now, I'm going to use 50 Quins. I can use 12 Harlequin bikes, the Incarn, some witches, and I'm going to roll for that until I get enough new troops until I can run 90 Quins on the table is what I want to do. And I'm just anticipating that their Psychic Awakening is good. So yeah. So I'll quickly dive into the chat. I can see Brian's talking about the Incarn. So the Incarn is insane, absolutely. Yeah. When Stephen rolls well enough to need a CP to fail. That's it. Like, who thinks to re-roll a successful pass into a fail? Well, sometimes you got to think outside the box. No pun intended. So what we got here? Jasper, I do want to ask. Oh, okay, there we go. Luke, hey, I missed the rules question day, but wondering about Shield Wall for Tyrannid Guard. It's a legical ability on their model. So would Hive Tyrant get a Feel No Pain, then Shield Wall, then Guard get Feel No Pain? Luke, I'm not sure. It's and I haven't seen the rules. So you'd have to write it out for me because I haven't looked at it. Yeah. John has said, what clan do you think Tank Busters should be for Orcs? Death Skulls or Bad Moons? I think Death Skulls get like a reroll to wound. I think it's pretty good. Or is it reroll hits? Either, really. I think there's some sort of really good stratagem that pairs quite well with them. Let's have a quick look. All right, let's have a little cheeky look at this stratagem. We'll have a look at the Death Skulls one. Here we go. 2 CPs, you can use a stratagem at the start of any phase. Select the Death Skulls unit from your army. You can reroll the wound rolls for attacks made by that unit that target enemy vehicles. So that's really good. Getting that reroll wounds with those Tank Busters is incredible. So yeah, maybe Tank Busters, because I think they get reroll hits. Something like that anyway. So then you can reroll hits, reroll wounds. So I would, yeah, probably put them as Tank Busters if that's the case. Have a little look for the Tank Buster. Here we go. You can reroll hit rolls for attacks that against vehicles. So yeah, and that's all hit rolls as well, regardless of modifiers. So yeah, I'd go that. Death Skulls. Death Skulls, definitely. Okay, Phil said, no, it's not Grey Knights. Really enjoying these chats, Steve. Great work. Thanks a lot. Not a problem. How would you play Dark Eldar if you were going to play them? Witches everywhere, I would do. Yeah, really like witches. I'd probably run about 100 of them, I think. Just flood the board with witches. and just get as many in combat as quickly as possible to get that 4+ invulnerable save and the 6 Feel No Pain. Ian said, thanks for your input on my BT list. Got to try it last night. I had a blast. Unfortunately, I lost to Orcs, but some forward pressure units. Was pretty awesome. Good man. JW, I just want to thank you. I just want to take the time to thank you for going all the Q&As for 40 days straight, almost. Massively appreciate it. The important thing is I'm starting to learn here. This is why you play a unit, yep. Instead of just putting a list in just because it has good stats. Yeah, it's all about finding the harmonies together. That's what you kind of really, really want to do. Rizal said, can you take us through how you play line of sight, how strict you are, or what you believe is reasonable expectations? So in terms of line of sight, literally, if you can see any part of the model from any part of your model, then it's fair game, basically. Yeah, it is fair game. Lucas said, evening, Stephen, love these live chats. When you are list building, how do you work out how many CPs you need? And do you have a rough points value on a CP? No, so I don't put a points value on a CP. What I do is basically work out what stratagems I want to use. So I've obviously got my roster. Then I'm thinking, right, okay, I need to essentially have this unit do this. I need it to do that turn 2. I need it to do this one and this one turn 3 and 4. So that comes to 8 CPs. Okay, well, that means I can go double battalion for 10. Battle Forged is 13. Then if I want to spend any extra relics and warlord traits, maybe that's an extra couple there, or any detachments I want to take. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I've got this couple of spare, so maybe I can add in a reroll that might be crucial, or I got a bit of wiggle room. So that's kind of how I do it. I actually write down the order of stratagems I want to use first. So I think I said I was going to talk about going to your first ever tournament. So if you guys got any questions on that, please let me know. If you're thinking about going to a tournament, you know, what you want to, if you've got any questions whatsoever, any queries, anything that you may have experienced, or maybe you went to a first competition, but you don't really feel like you got the most out of it, or you felt like you were not very prepared, then, you know, let me know, and I can sort of take you through what I go through in what I'm thinking about, okay? Elliot has said the Quinn Psychic Awakening is good. Cannot wait to see that. Honestly, I'm so excited for the Quinns. So excited. Yeah, I literally cannot wait to see what those guys get. I'm praying there's new units as well. And obviously that we saw that release of the Canoness lady, the Sisters Canoness lady, I think she is. And then she looks awesome, and then her friend is a Harlequin. So I'm hoping that Harlequin is a HQ unit that I can put, because only having the access to 2 HQ units that really buff the Harlequins is, yeah, I just want a third one. So then I've got some variety. So maybe like a +1 to hit. If he gives +1 to hit the Harlequins, that'll be really nice, because although you can take Yanari characters to have some variety, if you don't go Yanari, they don't buff the army in any way. They're just there to kind of do their own thing. So, which is why really I can only see the use of the Incarn, because, yeah, he's a beat stick, just smashes stuff. And it's super hard to take down as well. So, yeah. Richard is here, but literally I cannot wait for that. Cannot get it quick enough. Robert said, do you miss weapon templates, or do you prefer how it plays now? Or how would you reintroduce them into the game? I didn't like templates. I think they were there's too much like, oh, I think I can get 5, and your opponent's like, oh, only 3. And then you're like, no, it's definitely 5, mate. No, actually, I think it's 2. I think it's definitely 2. And you're there like, well, is it 5 or is it 2? And it's just because of what angle you're looking at that template. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like it, to be honest. So, and I didn't really play much as 7th edition. I only did one event. That was my first ever event of 7th edition, and it was the last ever event of 7th edition as well. So then 8th dropped. So I definitely prefer it now. Richard said bad moves because they can shoot twice. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have looters, then yeah, maybe like Rich is the man when it comes to orcs. So if you don't have looters, then yeah, that could be the way forward. But I think if you go looters and death skulls, sorry, looters and tank busters, then yeah, maybe one in each thing. Because you normally take a shock attack gun from the old death skulls, because maybe that could go in his detachment. God's Eye Casual. Hello, Stephen. I asked a question on AdMech and what units would be good. I forgot to mention I'm running Styges 8 and good combos or things I should do. Keep well. I would run, if you're running Styges, definitely Dragoons. I think Dragoons with Styges are excellent. You know, you could, I think, what's the maximum squad size is 6. So give it a bit of a try, but try 18, 3 units of 6. Give that a try. And then have 3 units that can fire indirectly at the back with Manipulus to give them the extra 6-inch range. And all of a sudden, you've got a really high pressure forward unit there with some really fantastic, you know, indirect line of sight stuff. So that would be excellent. Yeah, yeah, give that a bit of a try. Proxy it first and make sure you like it before you then purchase the models you want. All right. So just get, like, even if you need to, bits of paper, or get the right size bases, or use models that are similar height, roughly the same size. And even if you had a couple of Dragoons, then as obviously one of the bases dies, just replace it with the with that big one. Yeah. So what we got here, Luke said, so shield wall stats on the Tyrannid Guard on 2+, they can intercept the wound from the Hive Guard and take a mortal wound. Yep, so that's a feel no pain type effect for the Hive Tyrant, but it's on the Tyrannid Guard model. Okay, I need to look into that a bit more, Luke, and then give you an answer if that's all right, maybe tomorrow or something. Primarily, how do you find them? Tournaments, I mean, this is primarily. So basically, for me, it's a case of there's no real central database apart from Frontline Gaming kind of advertise a lot. BCP, you can search through there, but I think you need a premium account to do that. And then apart from that, it's just Facebook groups, or it's a bit frustrating where I did think about it doing it from Vanguard Tactics, because obviously we've got quite a large network where I could, and maybe I will start to do that when tournaments start kicking off, is be like a central hub for information. So maybe I put out an email once a week and just say, look, this event's coming up. And I have said to TOs and organizations before, if they want to advertise through Vanguard Tactics, then they need to make sure that their tournaments have got really good terrain. That's one thing. I'm not going to support a bad terrain event. And I'm not going to support an event that doesn't take sportsmanship and refereeing and has a strong code of conduct. So hopefully that's kind of, I'll filter out as much as I possibly can. And then I'll put some emails out around about, you know, there's this event coming up in this place or whatever. Maybe I could do like a monthly newsletter or something and give all the links away to all the events that are like that. So yeah. But yeah, it's just a case of little Facebook groups and things. I wish there was one place. That'd be good. Phil said, I went 5-1 at my last tournament. The snag was that was in 1995. Wondering if I should try and go back. Phil, mate, honestly, like I always say, if you just go with some mates, or if you know somebody you can go with, then all you want to do is just have a good time, like regardless of when it's your first event, and this kind of will be your first event again. Just go and have a good time. Like, don't worry about where you come first time. Just go through the motions, you know, get the first experience out your way. If you win a couple of games, great. But honestly, it's such a laugh. The community is fantastic. It really, really is. So yeah, I've made so many friends through the competitive scene. Yeah, it's really, yeah, something brilliant. So Zach had said, hey, Stephen, what's your take on a solitaire? I do like the solitaire. He's somebody that kind of, he will be the first thing I drop though. So he's not an auto include. If I can squeeze him in and I feel like he does a job for me, then he's in the list. But yeah, this little guy, he is incredible. He really is. Like, the amount of damage that he can do, he is an absolute character slayer. And look at that. He's just a stunning model as well. He's an absolute one of my favorite models. Yeah. But yeah, with him, with the Kerox Rose or Courtchild's Rose, where it's flat 3 damage and you reroll the wound rolls, he is like a rocket ship. Yeah, horrendous to play against, and he gets something like 10 attacks. It's gross. Yeah, you can buff him up a bit, fight him twice and stuff. Yeah, it's good. Yep. Beat Dominator, other rules question. Chaos Knights, they have a Vow of Carnage. For every 10 models they kill, they get another attack. If I've killed 9 in the shooting phase and 1 in the fight phase, can I make additional attack? Well, I believe so. I'll have to read the wording for you. But yeah, it's literally probably how it works is that as soon as you've killed 10, it gets added onto your stat line. Okay. Is it a book I've got, or I can't remember? Chaos Space Marines. I've got half my book. Oh, Chaos Knights. There we go. So what was it? Tell me, what am I looking at? Other rules question. Chaos Knights have a Vow of Carnage. So use this stratagem before the battle. Select one iconoclast household model from your army to declare a Vow of Carnage. Until the end of the battle, keep a tally of enemy models destroyed as a result of attacks made by that model, adding 1 to that model's attacks for every 10 models destroyed. That model cannot be selected for a vow. Okay, so how I'm interpreting this is, you wouldn't, for me, you would, I don't think if you are in combat and you get that, extra attack, I don't think you would instantly be able to play it. I think you'd only get the additional attack at the point in which you were able to activate, because otherwise it kind of interrupts the sequence a little bit. Yeah. So if that's what you're asking, you would get the additional attack for the next fight phase, but not that one. I think that's how that would work. Because when you come to initiate that knight, you would go, okay, I've got 5 attacks. And then you would, but then I suppose you do them independently. You only roll 5 because you fast roll. I'm not sure, actually. That would definitely be one I would get a TO over, just to clarify. Yeah. Let's have a little look on fast dice in the rulebook. It's a good question, though. I like it. It's a good question. And again, I could see it being played either way. And to be honest, I wouldn't be against it being ruled either way, really. So, yeah, it wouldn't make too much odds, Okay, I can't find my rule book. Oh, here we go. Where's fast dice rolls? Fast dice rolling. Okay, so this is really getting in deep here. Okay, choose the targets. First, you must pick the target unit or units for the attacked. So you would allocate your attacks. So therefore, I think you wouldn't be able to do it, because you would have to, like, let's say you've got your 15 attacks. You go, right, I'm going to put 15. I'm going to put 5 on that dude, 5 on that dude, 5 on that dude. Then that would be what you would get, because even if you killed one, all of a sudden there's another one. So I don't think you would. Look, yeah. But literally, that's the best thing to do, guys. Get the rule book out, re-look at that wording. You might have to look for it in a few different places and then come to the fairest conclusion. So yeah, otherwise you'd be like, oh, I've got this extra attack now, which multiplies into 3, and I can stick it on that guy because I didn't quite kill him. I don't think that's fair. Yeah. Do, 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 do. Do I know? Oh, here we go. What's the difference going from 7th to 8th? Interesting to know what was different going from 7th to 8th. Interested to know what the change with the new edition. So 7th to 8th was a massive change. Personally, I don't think if there obviously there's all these rumors all the time, and I tend not to listen to many of them. I'm just gonna use your initiative. Okay, is 8th edition excellent? Yes, 8th edition is excellent. Does it need to change? Not really. There's a few things that have been FAQ'd, and there is a lot of erratas and all that sort of designer commentary. So if there was, an educated guess would mean, right, they'll get rid of all that and they'll streamline it. So they'll kind of rewrite it in a format. You'll get a new book with some new missions in and stuff. Cool. It'll be like that's what I would, because, all this Psychic Awakening's coming out, and Codex, Space Marine Codex wasn't out too long ago. Sisters have only just got their Codex. It would make the whole thing invalid if there was a complete shift where, let's say, because in 7th edition, there wasn't stratagems and stuff. So all of a sudden, if 9th edition, if that ever came out, was like, yeah, we're getting rid of stratagems now, you'd be like, what? It was so good. It was so good. So I don't think that's my educated, again, use your initiative, but I don't think they need to change it. I'm cool with the game as it is. I think it's great. Yeah, I really do. Right, Phil said, thanks, something for us to plan after the plague has left us. Rich Kilton, yes, you are. Yes, Brian, you are. Phil said, P.S. I'm getting clowns today as well, but they are for my son's army, not mine. Well, your son's a man after my own heart. Yeah, clowns are the way forward, I think. Stephen said, I just wanted to point out I have not played in almost 20 years. I've joined the Vanguard Tactics so I can have the confidence when I go to tournaments and not worry I'll look like an idiot. Stephen, yeah, love that. Absolutely love it. That's exactly why, I put the academy together. M. Anderson, hey, Stephen, appreciate the stream. Not directly 40k related, but I believe if you feel good physically, you play better. Any tips for staying motivated, working out at home? Just do something simple, okay? Like after this live, I go for a walk every day, okay? Literally, get 4,000 steps in on a walk, great. I'll walk for about an hour, call a friend, listen to a podcast, whatever it might be, speak to Amy. So that's kind of what I do for about a good hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Just keep it super simple, all right? And then I just keep my diet in check as well. So I'm not overeating. I wrote a list of tips down to prevent snacking, okay, or over snacking, or if you get hungry, or how to stop yourself from emotionally just eating out of boredom and stuff. So if you want me to go over any of that, please let me know, because obviously that is what I do. So what I've done for the last 10 years is help people with their diet and exercise. And obviously now I coach game theory. So yeah, it's actually very similar. Coaching people fitness and nutrition is very similar to coaching people 40k, because you could take out the 40k and the techniques are still the same. So we've had people do really, really well on Kill Team who have done the academy and they just applied the same logic. Okay, so when you're talking about a threat range, like it could be chess. Chess has a threat range. When we're talking about list creation, that could be any game, could be, there's lots of different things out there that it's applicable to. Rezul said, one of my favorite game moments was disintegrating a slightly careless solitaire with unit Necron warriors. Yeah, laugh at the clown. Hey, don't you laugh at the solitaire, all right? He's not done anything to you. You leave him alone. Don't bully him. Been a member for over a month now, and I can't wait. Thanks, Steve, and the rest of the community. Oh, thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much. Okay. Right. We've got another one. Hello there. Really enjoying your streams and videos. What is your opinion on Invictus tactical warsuits in a Blood Angels detachment? See, I think it's 3 or nothing. Yeah, I think it's 3 or nothing. And providing you have everything else in your army that you need. So you've got the characters in there, you've got Sanguinary Guard, and they're there to, and again, but they can really cause you an issue because they give away early kills. And as a Blood Angel player, you're probably not going to get a first kill. It's hard to get a first kill unless you're going first, which means that like putting 3 Invictus Warsuits in, they want to play aggressively, really. They're hard to hide. So if you put them at the back, then they may as well be a Dreadnought, and you've took a worse Dreadnought now. If you put them up front and you don't go first, then you're giving your opponent super easy kills. Yeah. It's hard. It makes your turn 1 even better, but your turn 1's already good anyway. Yeah. Lewis said, I think post Psychic Awakening, they should just release a new version of the rulebook with the errata and the FAQs added in. Thoughts? Yeah, that could be all right. That could be good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm undecided on the warsuits. I think 3 could be useful. I need to test them, I think. Then I can get you a proper opinion whether they work for Blood Angels. Ryan said, is there a difference between coaching game theory and selling educational content? So in terms of so for example, when I coach nutrition and training, coaching is about helping people be empowered by knowledge, okay? And whether that comes in a format of a video lesson, a webinar, a live call, one-to-one phone call, the delivery doesn't really make much difference. It's more about the skills and the accountability you then give those people. So regardless of the medium that it comes through, providing that all those elements are ticked, then it's very similar. So for example, on a lot of my fitness clients who are really interested in muscle building, they get access to my my webinar series where I talk through how to engage the muscles. So that's very similar to obviously what I do with my academy, is that they get the live calls, we can go over like their lists and stuff, but then they also get access to my theory on how you should play a certain army or the play style. So it's very, very similar, but the beauty of a recorded piece of content is that you can think about it and capture it and then also serve as like an FAQ. So a lot of my nutrition clients will ask me the same questions over and over again. So I wrote a book, because then when a client starts with me, I can say, look, here's the book that I've written that you're going to need to know all the basics of, okay? Yeah, rather than having those same conversations, because then actually what we're doing is we're building I suppose, a certain level of knowledge, and then they will then ask deeper questions once they've understood that, or clarify things that they didn't understand, and that's really important. So yeah, this very, very similar. It really very much is. Beat Dominator, warsuits are what's called a win more, not a dig you out of a whole unit. Warsuits are what's called a win more. I'm not really sure. I don't really know what you mean by that one. JW, I'm not a fan of a warsuit. I'm not really seeing the point of suicide in a couple of units first turn. I'd rather use more units that help long term. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that sort of concept, 100%. Sam has said, just bought some Thunderfire cannons. What's the best Space Marine army for them to be used in? Any. They're good with any, really. I mean, they're good with Imperial Fists. Because of the way now doctrines work, they do work slightly differently. So you will find that turn 1, yeah, they're excellent because you get the Devastator Doctrine. but really use them again. Like this comes down to stuff like when we look at particular units and we talk about particular units on the academy, it's a case of what situations you use them in. Okay, we know they're good. We you guys have got the codex, you can see for yourself the stat line and the stratagems you can use for them. So it's just about understanding for you, okay, where do they plug in? So when we talk about things like if you have a gun line which really struggles against armies that claim the board, and you don't really want units pushing through the board and claiming the board control, then actually a Thunderfire cannon could be really, really good with just using tremor shells, where you can slow down your enemy's movement, okay? Because then that's going to stop their early board pressure, okay? If, that's one example, all right? If, for example, you've got a Dreadnought army, and you struggle to get units out of ruins, then great. Thunderfire cannons are excellent and I basically, like, what I have is like a coding system. So you'll see, right, okay, well, that I've identified kind of for you. I've kind of done the thought process for you that the Thunderfire cannon is an excellent anti-infantry unit. So then you can look at that and go, okay, cool, yeah. So Steve said that the Thunderfire cannon is a good anti-infantry. Well, in my games, I've recognized, and again, I give you all the structure you need to go, okay, yeah, I'm struggling to kill infantry that are hidden out of line of sight. What's a good option? Well, when Steve covers, for example, the Space Marines, and again, you can see all those little dots come together, and that's why it works so well. So yeah, think about if you're building an army around Thunderfire cannons, that's a bit different. If you really love that model and you think, right, then maybe go Imperial Fist, run 3 of them, run the guy that gives you the captain that gives you reroll misses, and then also I think it's a relic that you can give you reroll 1s to wound as well. He can just sit at the back and just do loads of good stuff like that, really. Yeah. So, beat Dominus, they don't add anything to the list that already does amazingly well. Yeah, okay, I kind of see what you mean. Yeah, so they're not really there to in terms of the Invictus Warsuits here, yeah, they're only going to accentuate what your army already does. And normally what you want to find is those aspects where you're looking at something and thinking, okay, this is a hard matchup. And however, what you can do is use these units to help you in those hard matchups. Then that's a really good use of adding in different units. Ryan said, I understand that coaching service or game dynamics cannot be copyrighted, but educational content can be. Is the educational you provide copyrighted? And if not, why not? So, I mean, in terms of like if somebody, for example, wants to like try and copy the academy or copy like the way that I do a SWOT analysis, for example, on units, then, they can feel free to. Because in the fitness business, I've had people that have copied my spreadsheets, the way I work out people's nutrition. And it's just one of those things that it's just tools, really. That's all it is. It's a tool. But in terms of the students that come onto the academy, then they're making that decision whether they believe that I'm the person that can help them. They like the way I come across, or they like my ethos behind the game, or they like the things that I talk about on these lives and they want more of that content, then yeah. But if it is, yeah, you could, like, for example, copy my video or something. That's what I suppose people could do that, but I don't know. I'm not too worried about it, really, because again, it's just a case of, like, I didn't come up with the SWOT analysis. I'm just using that as a tool that I use and just picking that as an example. Or one of the things I have is a game tracker. Like, if you want to make your own game tracker, that's fine. Do you know what I mean? It's a case of the game tracker for me helps clients or students, should I say, analyze what they're winning against, what they're losing against, and then they can start to piece all this information together and then use the information that they're gathering from the academy, from the daily lessons that I have in my community, where we get people to think about it. Yeah, and go from there, really. So they're just tools that, yeah, help people, basically. That's all they are. Felix has said, or Sam said, I like the sound of that. Felix has said, any thoughts on new Thousand Sons? They seem to have some fun gimmicks with bib. Oh yeah, they are. I played against Thousand Sons the other day, and they're pretty decent. They got loads of different redeploy tricks, and it surprised me, actually. Really did. Ryan said, good, glad you're not worried about it. That's the thing, it's just, it's not worth worrying about, I don't think, for me. All I'm concerned about is just keeping happy customers, that's it, and happy students. Speaking of the academy, I'm fixing to sign up. I love your content and feel like I can get started and make the right decision. Absolutely, yeah, please let me know. If you get any questions, just yeah, shoot me a mail. If you've got any questions about how it works, you want to find out some more information before you sign up. Also, there is one VIP place left. 4 places have already sold this month, and there's only 5 a month. And the reason why there's only 5 a month on the VIP is because each of those people get a one-to-one coaching call with me. So we go over their list. You know, I was teaching Armaki Riptiles, who you see in the chat. I was teaching him how to deploy all his units and stuff, sending screenshots on a whiteboard of, okay, so this is where you'd put those units down based on what he wants to play. So yeah, because obviously I can't speak to, let's say 50 people signed up, I wouldn't be able to deliver on those phone calls. So there is only 5 a month, and 4 went in the first, what's today, the 3rd or the 2nd or something? Yeah, it's the 2nd today. So 4 have already gone. So there's 1 more space on the VIP. But then after that, what you can do is email me, and you can basically get on the waiting list ready for the June VIP intake. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I can basically fit everyone in a schedule and speak to everyone. So yeah, put it 5 a time. And also what you get is you do save some money by going for the VIP because you pay for the course up front. Okay, so it's not monthly, you pay for the course up front, so you do save some money as well. And also you get full access to the course. You don't have to wait. You just get full access to all the modules that have been recorded so far. And as soon as a new lesson's recorded and it gets published, you get access to it. That's the difference between the two. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. Ronald said, hi, I've asked the question about the lack of heal in 40k. I find the tables very simplistic competitive play. I love the idea of heals, ruins, making weaker units more viable. Like, honestly, like, if you like heals, add them to your table. They're just difficult for TOs to get hold of, really, because a lot of them you have to make yourself. You know, you got to get like they're just difficult to make. So, or they're just time consuming. They're not easy unless you know how and you're really dedicated to doing it. Sometimes like ruin terrain is a bit simpler to use, store, and you know, you can slot it all together, all the L shapes in a box, and yeah, make it look all right. Right, okay, guys, I'm going to leave that there. I've been 55 minutes and I need to go out for my walk. So anyway, take care all, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 6 o'clock. All right, take care, and I'll see you then.